recording as well. Good morning and welcome to the final session for our San Antonio Entrepreneurship Week. This is actually something that I'm kind of holding near and dear to my heart because it's been a labor of love in many senses, but also has tangible impact and opportunity for the San Antonio community. So as we talk about the theme of Entrepreneurship Week this year being opportunity on the other side, what does that look like? One of the things that I think many of us have had to transition to is figuring out how to do a lot more without the common spaces, right? And also how to interact with potentially more people digitally. And that's been a never-ending struggle for, a Launch SA crew of two, right? So how do we expand our knowledge base into a format that can be accessed and still provide a tailored approach to supporting entrepreneurs and getting them to where they need to be? And so today, we're happy to announce the launch of what I'm just going to call the launch platform. I feel like that's a nice analogy for it, because ideally it's the step that takes you forward to take off on your journey. And so I'm happy to have with us today Beto, Altamarino, and Puja, as well as Eduardo, and I think there may be another gentleman there, Christian, from the Iris team, to share with us what we've been building and also provide some insight from the entrepreneurial spectrum as to how this can potentially impact your business or your venture, as well as for us, the opportunity to have a discussion about what we think this means in a broader sense. And so today is the showcase of our V1. In some case, you might say experiment, but really tangibly, I believe it to be a game changer for our community in terms of accessibility for resources, knowledge, and connectory for anybody that wants to start a business. So thank you. That's my brief introduction, but I'd love for the Iris team to provide some background for themselves as well.
Thank you, Ryan. And I want to give a big shout out to Ryan and Daniela for the work that they put into for this platform that we've been working with for the past almost a year. And so, I think both of you have demonstrated a lot of commitment to the idea of nurturing the entrepreneurial skills among, the residents of San Antonio, right? So this is the first step for us to digitize this process, right? I think what we're introducing today is going to be quite dynamic, and it's going to support a lot of entrepreneurs in the region, and it's all digital. So you can literally do everything from your phone at home or traveling, wherever you are. You can actually engage directly with Launch SA. But again, I want to highlight Ryan's and Daniela's effort that went into this platform, because this is the brainchild of both of them, coming up with this idea and actually taking that step forward into a digital world, right? From, in-person to digital, and how can you engage, both in both approaches, right? In such a way that actually benefits the entrepreneur. So congrats to both. I think this is a collective win, and this is just the beginning of a lot of great work ahead of us. But let's get started with the demo of the product. How does that sound, Ryan?
Well, actually, so before we jump directly into the demo, I think it might be good if I provide some scope on what our process normally is, and then we can show how this is evolving into the digital space. And so,
and also do like a quick intro about the product before we jump into the demos. But yeah, go ahead, give us
absolutely
more insight.
So from the Launch SA perspective, right? If you ever needed to get support, we exist in order for any entrepreneur at any stage to connect with the correct resources at the right time. That's, if you're an entrepreneur, you understand this is not a one size fits all checklist, right? I wish I had the $1 million checklist. I think I must have dropped it somewhere along the way, right? And if somebody picks it up, please return. It should have my name on it somewhere. But
I think Christian Biedenhorn has it from our team. I think, yeah.
That explains all the success that y'all are having. It just, hey, give me a copy of it sometime. So the normal process we take into account is understanding where you're starting from and what your vision is. I think that it's inherently important for us as the support organization to know where you want to be and tailor fit the directions that we offer towards your benefit, right? It makes no sense if you want to be a multinational organization starting from ground zero that we give you the game plan to, run a farmer's market, or if you're the guy that wants to just, run a successful stall in the farmer's market, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for us to give you the, how do you conquer the world game plan. And also the people that would be involved in that discussion for your education would be somewhat separate people, right? That's not to say that your plan or your business doesn't take an evolution over time. We know that it does, right? And so what we have always strived to do is maintain a strong relationship with the entrepreneurs and understand at that onset, what are you trying to do? Where do you want to go? And how can we best figure out what in the community exists and who in the community exists to support you? And so that takes a lot of one-to-one interaction. It's a lot of discussion. And sometimes it's a lot of repetition because initial answers, especially in getting started, can be very similar, especially if we're talking about legal or regulatory, accounting, some of the more foundational steps. However, that's not to say that we are trying to eschew the personal dedication that we have to your business success, but rather we want to complement it with something that can help us and help you iterate over time. And that's where the institution of this concept for the launch platform came from. It was, how do we effectively address what you want to do, where you want to go, and what makes sense for you to access at what time, without us being the choke point for that opportunity, right? If you're relying specifically just on a person to get back to you, then you're also inherently positioned against whatever else might be on their calendar, in their mind. And so how do we clearly and effectively gather what you need, gather who you are, and then also start to build and complement what we know in our knowledge base personally with your vision and goals for immediacy. And so that is sort of my summation of how we got here and what we're thinking about. And for the institution of this platform, what we've thought directly is, our normal position is we know a lot of people. I like to say that Launch SA is sort of the guy that knows a guy about business. I say that about myself as well. But if you only ever think of Launch SA as myself or Daniela or Lift Fund or the city, then inherently we've kind of missed the point. Launch SA is about community. It's about building community and about building accessibility. So building that into a system can be complex, but there's a very straightforward arena of decisions that we make in getting you to the right arena or right segment of resources, right? It's who are you, where do you live, what are you trying to work on industry-wise, do you have experience with that? And so based on those decision trees, we can effectively get you in front of what you're going to relate with the most. And then we can start to dedicate more of our thought process to who in the community is going to relate with you the most and what insights can they add to your journey that'll help you overcome the obstacles. And if you're an entrepreneur, you might feel alone in that process, but this is also where we feel the best opportunity is to connect you with that broader community. And if we can get there quicker, if we can establish the answers in a stronger, more formidable way, and then also have that be reactive and proactive towards the journey, then ideally that speeds up your progression. And so I think that gives like a general sense. I don't know if I'm missing anything that you're thinking about, Bethel, but I think we can maybe start there with that, or if there's anything else we want to talk about before the demo, we can iterate from there.
Definitely. And just to give a little bit of background about the work that we do at Iris. So we are a tech company based in San Antonio, and we focus a lot on improving processes, for both the public and private sector in regards to urban tech development, from infrastructure to assets that are being built around, a given city. But, we are known for also the 311 SA app, which was launched in San Antonio about 2 years ago. And we had a track record of working, directly with a lot of entities locally in San Antonio. But, when Ryan approached me with this idea, in supporting Launch SA, I was, immediately captivated by the fact that it was a tool that was going to be leveraging a lot of, let's say, initiatives from Launch SA so that they can support directly entrepreneurs. So with that said, let me talk a little bit about the Launch SA platform, right? Which allows business owners or those seeking to become entrepreneurs to answer a questionnaire that will immediately provide users with business resources and information tailored to their needs. Additionally, users can access information about Launch SA events, programs, and communicate directly with Launch SA's team. This platform will enable Launch SA to keep an eye out on your vision and connect you to the best mentors and supportive community based on your needs and interests. Think about it, right? When I was starting Iris, I didn't know who to talk to, right? I mean, I was always looking for mentors or people that can nurture my growth as an entrepreneur, right? But it's not easy, right? You have to step out of your comfort zone and you have to reach out to folks in order to get some advice, some feedback on your idea, right? Or on the business model. It depends on what phase of the process you're in. But this tool allows you to directly engage with people that understand what you're trying to solve as a company or the service that you're trying to provide to the community of San Antonio, for example, right? And so that's the beauty of this tool, right? Which is a web-based application and does not have to be downloaded or installed and can be accessed through a website link on any web browser or on your phone or computer. So we're not going to take any data from your phone, right? I mean, people are usually worried about that. You don't have to download the tool. You can actually just access this web app through a web browser. So that's really interesting. And it's quite dynamic. We're also taking an approach that is a people-centric approach to making it more user-friendly. So with that said, let's get started with the demo. Pooja, can you share your screen so we can actually give an introduction to the tool?
Yes, absolutely, Beto.
Great, there you go. So I was muted. So the first thing that we see is the sign up and sign in, right? So to get started with the Launch SA web app, users can click on the sign up button and create an account using their email and password. I already have an account, so I'll go ahead and sign in using my email and password. After logging in, users are directed to the Launch SA platform homepage. This is a landing page and includes a menu of options that allows users to navigate to each section within the web app, such as the questionnaire, user profile, communication, notifications, resources, events, or FAQs. After that, you have the questionnaires. The questionnaire section, allows users to have access to every single Launch SA questionnaire that, Ryan's team puts out there, right? Here, users can answer multiple choice and open-ended questions regarding their business background and needs. They will also be asked to provide geographic and demographic information. After completing this questionnaire, users will be automatically provided with help and resources based on the answers provided, right? So we're building this logic that allows, the Launch SA team to identify what are the core needs of the entrepreneur, right? By taking that in, right, through this questionnaire, users can rapidly get the help and the support from Launch SA's team. The next feature is resources. Users can access the general resources and My Resources section. The My Resources section provides users with resources based on the responses to the Launch SA questionnaire. People can click on each resource in the list for helpful information and links. The general resources section allows users to access a list of website resources that links that are helpful for all users, such as community support groups and educational resources. The next feature is Get Assistance. If users need additional assistance beyond the resources provided via the Launch Essay questionnaire, they can ask questions and seek additional assistance by clicking on the Get Assistance button on the web app homepage. So it's very simple. So you just click there, and users can send a message to the Launch Essay team and then receive a response as well. And that can be in a matter of seconds, right? So you have immediate communication with Ryan, Daniela, and everyone at the Launch Essay team. The next feature is a communication and mailbox icon. Users will receive responses and continue the conversation with the Launch Essay team within the communication section in the web app. Users can access this section by clicking on the communications feature in the carousel or the mailbox icon located at the top right corner of the homepage. The next feature is the About Launch Essay. From the homepage, users can also access the About section. This section allows users to view additional information about Launch Essay. So you can learn all about what Launch Essay is doing and who they are. I mean, everyone in this call joining us, we know Launch Essay and we love what they're doing, right? But for those users that just moved to San Antonio, they can learn more about what Launch Essay is doing, their focus or mission through this section. And of course, each section that you see is going to be edited by the Launch Essay team. So they can continuously work on this product because it's an organic growth that we're focusing on. The next section is going to be the feed. Here you can see programs and events. On the homepage, users can also access information about Launch Essay programs and events. The Programs tab allows users to view a list of programs offered by Launch Essay. Clicking on a program from the list directs users to a program detail page with more information. The Events tab provides users with information about upcoming events. Clicking on an event from the list directs users to an event detail page with more information. So imagine you're cruising, through downtown and you want to learn about what's happening, right? What kind of event related to entrepreneurship or related to startups or the food industry in San Antonio, you name it, right? Launch Essay is always hosting these events or collaborating and partnering with different organizations in downtown. So you can learn about every single program and event in this page. And this is going to be continuously updated. So I think it's a really cool feature. The next section is going to be the user profile. Users can also access their user profile to manage their personal information provided in the web app. In the Member Information tab, users can view and edit their personal information such as their profile photo, name, and demographic information. In the Profile Questions tab, users can view and edit information entered in the profile questions. These member profile questions provide the Launch Essay team with more information about your business, vision, and goals. I think the goal here, right, is to have that transparency between the entrepreneur and Launch Essay. Launch Essay is here to support you and your growth, but they want to learn more about you. What is your vision? What are your goals? How can we as Launch Essay support you? The next section is the app notifications. On the homepage, users can click on the bell icon located on the top right corner of the screen to access the notifications panel. Here, users can receive app notifications for upcoming events, for new content added to the app, and more. So think of it as, the same feature that you see here on Facebook or on Instagram or Twitter, right? You're notified about different initiatives, or if a friend, liked a photo of yours or commented, or if you got an inbox message. It's the same thing. So although it's a web-based platform, it still has those dynamics that allow you to receive notifications in real time. The next feature is the side menu. Users can click on the 3-line icon. I call that the sandwich, which is located next to notifications. To access the side menu allows users to easily access app sections, their profile, resource links, and FAQs, you name it. But it's up there, right? And you can see it. It's on the right top corner and is located next to notifications. Easily accessed through the mobile app. And the last section, right, is the FAQs. Within the side menu, users can access FAQ section to guide users on how to use the Launch SA web app. Of course, Launch SA is going to host a lot of webinars and to teach people how to use this app. Iris also intends to support that mission as well. It is quite a dynamic tool, very easy to use, as you saw, right? But still, we have the FAQs, so we can guide you in anything that you need regarding the application. But as you see, it's a very dynamic, simple, easy to use tool that is going to have a lot of impact, I think, in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in San Antonio. I predict that is going to be successful. And I think when we think about economic development in San Antonio, let's think about entrepreneurs first. They're building businesses. They're stimulating the economy. They are building a better future for San Antonio. But it starts here, right? It starts with a platform that enables them to understand, what are the opportunities for them. And Launch SA is here to support them and assist them in this process. So Ryan, we're very excited about this opportunity, and that completes the demo of the Launch SA platform.
Absolutely. So yeah, I noticed that on our live stream, we have a question that's talking about when will it launch. And so our goal is to have this be launched to the public, ideally by next week, so that we can start collecting that initial group of folks that in some sense will be our test case. But as we continue to iterate, this is our V1, we hope to adapt and add to the functionality to include more machine learning recommendations based on the trajectories that we've seen and can aggregate from the entire group of users. So what we've noticed, and taking our anecdotal notions and putting them into practice, that there are some themes in commonality with entrepreneurs. However, it's sometimes really hard to predict because there really aren't any connected systems that allow economic development agencies or folks that are in the support arena to understand where entrepreneurs get hung up. It's oftentimes very anecdotal. For example, if we provide you the information to get your DBA, and then also say, hey, it's a good idea, you should probably look into getting an LLC. There's no way to really know that you've done either one. And so through this platform, the idea is that establishing a consistent relationship and utilizing the app on a consistent basis not only gets you real-time advice and direction, but also provides you the opportunity to provides the opportunity for us to start relaying stronger and better recommendations to the community as a whole when we see them get stuck. And that's also one of the reasons why I think that the profile section is actually one of the most intuitive arenas that we could have adapted. It's not just about grabbing information to grab information. One of the questions in there was, what does your goal look like this year? Or what steps are you going to take this year? We want to know that so that we can follow up with you and find out, hey, how is it? How's it going? You said you wanted to make $100,000 this year. You said you were hoping to add on 3 new employees this year. Well, where are you in that position? Is there a way that we can help you, right? Rather than making it a reactive system inherently, where it's like, well, so what's wrong? Which is commonly where people start, is you come to us when things are wrong. We can actually take that approach and say, hey, how's it going? Like, we know you were working on this. Where does the position in that take place, or how can we help you overcome the obstacles? What are you facing? And then taking that aggregation of information over the course of time will build a better system and paints a stronger, more robust picture for our San Antonio area, as well as start telling a broader and more vivid story for the economic development of San Antonio as well. And so, that hopefully that answers the question. I know Daniel was the one that asked that. I'd love it if anybody has questions as to the app itself, the creation, anything like that. We're more than happy to share. But also, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the evolution of what this gets us to, right? So we have, and if you want to, you feel free to drop them in the chat or on Facebook Live, and we will address them as we see. And again, this is an iterative process. I don't I don't believe anything in entrepreneurship should ever be stagnant, right? Things change. If you don't believe things change, then the pandemic may not have hit you as hard, but definitely everything's changed, right? So we need to change to be the most relevant resource. And I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs also discovered, is that relevancy has been key to the sustainability and success of their business post pandemic. So how do we, Launch SA, also find that same resiliency, that robustness? And that's by learning how to be relevant to the audiences that we serve. So what does this take us to, right? Where do we see this? And the genesis of Launch SA, at one time called Cafe Commerce, was about accessibility, right? There are a number of resources across the community. There's never been a great set of navigation, and obviously getting in front of people can be an issue in and of itself, because geographically San Antonio is so large. But where we've really succeeded is in creating and developing those relationships, and making them not our relationships, but expanding those to whoever is the best suited to answer questions across the community. So our goal, or a goal of this platform, is to actually have this available not only for ourselves and our members being anybody who needs help, but for any support agency that wants to get that real-time answer to the public of what's next in their position, right? So if you, in theory, show up to the economic development office for San Antonio, or you go down to the Bexar County office, for example, to get your DBA, and then you have questions and they may not have the immediate answer in front of them, this is a way for them to get you answers immediately without having to have our knowledge base, right? So it equips not only us, not only you, but also anyone else that's looking to support entrepreneurs across that spectrum, which I think is inherently powerful in driving forward the concepts of accessibility for our community, and making entrepreneurship easier. It'll never be easy, but easier across that board.
I agree 100%, Ryan. I think you hit the nail on the head. And it's interesting, right? The approach that we took in building this platform, right? When we started, we had a design thinking workshop at the Iris HQ, where you participated with Daniela as well. And we started brainstorming ideas, right? Everything that you just talked about, right? How can we take that experience, that essence of nurturing collaboration and also entrepreneurship in San Antonio, and digitize that process? I think we were pushed by the pandemic to also explore ways to digitize some of the processes that you were experiencing when engaging with entrepreneurs, right? And I think we, after that design thinking workshop, we saw the vision for the product, right? What we wanted to build, and I think what we have today really captures that essence, right? Which is the ability for entrepreneurs to have a direct line of communication with Launch SA, to have Launch SA understand the direct needs of the entrepreneurs, regardless of their industry. And San Antonio has a great food industry, but it also has a tech industry and has other growing industries, right? So how do you cater to those entrepreneurs that want to step into those industries and have an impact, right? So I think that's what we're trying to do here with this platform. And I'm passionate about economic development. I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs, because I believe that entrepreneurs in San Antonio are definitely building something that is very special, right? And it's a wave that everybody wants to surf, right? But where do you get started? Where do you get started? That's the big question that people are asking, right? So this is what is going to enable people to actually have access to all those resources, right? From starting an LLC to, your business model, your business approach, and let's say anything that you want to look at, right? So that you can have the resources, tools to get to the next level, right? And to get funded or to start selling your services and products. So I'm very excited about this, Ryan, and we are very, very thankful that you invited the Iris team to collaborate with you on this initiative.
Absolutely. I'm like, I couldn't say enough about what I think this will do. And so, I have a question for you, just as you, your vision in has guided Iris to be, sort of a kingpin, not only locally and very notably for civic technology, but as currently you're traveling, you're seeing the world. You've been in, a number of different forms, including Techstars, where you've seen government technologies, civic technologies, and you kind of compounded all this. What have you seen, if you've seen anything? Because I live in my bubble of Texas and maybe a little bit larger than that, the US. But what is there anything that you've seen that really puts this same kind of concept out there for entrepreneurs?
I haven't seen something like this, to be honest. Exactly like what we designed and built, I haven't seen it, right? What I've seen though is that in a lot of cities across the world that I've had the experience in visiting for business and actually lived in, right? Like for example, Amsterdam or Barcelona, is that a lot of entrepreneurs and let's say stakeholders in the economic development realm and everyone in general, right? Residents of those cities, they celebrate the collective wins of entrepreneurs. They truly do, right? And they celebrate them in a way that builds a brand for those cities. And I think that's what we need to do in San Antonio. We need to celebrate the collective wins in San Antonio, and we need to nurture that growth of entrepreneurs, right? So I haven't seen a tool like the one that we designed, specifically for Launch SA anywhere else. There's different platforms that I've seen that attempt to design an experience for entrepreneurs where they can get the resources they need to get started. But I have not seen something so proactive, and responsive, such as the Launch SA platform. So I'm excited to see how we take this to the next level, right? I think maybe it's something that we can export as a city, right? Helping other, let's say, EDCs or entrepreneurial hubs across the US to use this tool. Who knows? Maybe this can be a tool that can be leveraged in other cities as well, gifted or donated by Launch SA, right? So I'm very excited about this, right? But yes, I have not seen it, but I have seen the celebration, right, of those collective wins, the willingness, right, and the hunger that a lot of entrepreneurs have in succeeding with their ventures, right, the services or the products that they offer, right, and that's beautiful, right, and I think we need more of it in San Antonio. I think we're getting there, and it makes me very excited. And I think a tool like this is going to definitely enable that participation from entrepreneurs. And who knows, those people that, have a dream of starting something, right? Or an idea of starting something, maybe this can be a good guide for them to, actually make their dreams a reality, right? I think sometimes we struggle with taking that first step, and it's normal, right? I mean, it's not easy to become, a business owner. And so when we want to take that step forward and actually, start something, we either paralyze or, we ask too many questions and we never get started, or we delay and we procrastinate and we never take that step forward. I think this platform will enable people to actually take that step forward, to actually believe that they can actually have some impact in whatever industry they decide to actually spearhead or to explore. And entrepreneurs need to know that the pool is always going to be cold, right? It's once you jump in and you start swimming, it gets warm, right? And that's the same thing, right? For what we're trying to do here, right? Once you start, using this tool and understanding that you have a direct line of support with Launch SA, and that you can make your business idea a reality, you're going to feel comfortable, and you're going to know that you have the resources and the support system that is going to enable you to get there, right? I mean, it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying that this platform is going to solve a lot of issues or it's going to be the main solution for entrepreneurs to actually start their businesses, right? We still need to have, the encouragement and the motivation from entrepreneurs to move from point A to point B, right? But I think this tool is going to give people the ability to understand, what are the steps to get there, right? How can they get there faster? I didn't have that when I got started. I didn't have a clear guide on how to structure a business. I was just so naive, about starting a business. But I guess that also pushed me, in the direction of building a company, right? If I knew all the challenges that I was going to face in the next 2-3 years, I would have thought about it twice. No, I'm just kidding. But in essence, I think that I was just so motivated to get started, right, and do something. But if I knew there was some sort of guide out there or platform that will enable me to understand some of the steps to get there faster, I would have used that tool, right? And I think that's what we're, presenting today, which I think is going to be a benefit to a lot of entrepreneurs. I think my co-founder Eduardo is on the call as well, and he would agree that we went through a lot of challenges and headaches, right, in getting started at the beginning, because we just didn't know how to move forward rapidly, right? And I think this is what we have today, which is going to be powerful and very helpful to a lot of entrepreneurs in San Antonio.
Absolutely. And I have one more question for you, and that's just as you kind of have lived in the intersection, and I know that your company is not just limited by the civ tech or the gov tech, like the solutions you build are multifaceted, but having lived in a cross position where you've seen government tools and ways of creating responsiveness with the engaging the community, what do you see, how do you see a benefit like this for a city, more than just the constituents? Obviously getting them served, I think, is one element, but what do you think understanding data like this can do for economic development?
Oh, that's one of the main advantages of this tool, easily, hands down. I mean, when you think about it, right, economic development requires the participation from many ecosystems, right? The academia, the business ecosystem, the public sector, of course, government, right? To participate collectively and shape an idea or goal of what that economic success looks like for those cities, right? And data plays such an important role in all of this. If we understand, what are, our main focus areas, right, as a city, what are the industries that are thriving, or where are entrepreneurs curious to step in and build something, right? When we get this data and we analyze it, right, we get a better picture of what's happening in San Antonio, for example, right? I think data empower us to make decisions faster as well. But these are educated decisions because we have the knowledge base that allow us to make policy recommendations, for example, or to pursue funding, right, as a city organization, or to invest, right, the funding that is going to enable entrepreneurs or business owners, right, to actually have an impact in those industries that they are exploring, such as the food industry, the entertainment industry, the tech industry, which we recently had a big event in downtown with Tech Block, which was really cool. And there's a lot of other industries in San Antonio that I believe, are growing, right? But for policy experts, or for the economic development team at the City of San Antonio, or for Launch SA, which you guys are actually doing a lot of this legwork, right? It allows you to have a better understanding of how you can serve your community, right? I think data is really important. And I think data is the future, right? And so you having the ability to visualize who are the new entrepreneurs coming into your platform and engaging with them and learning about them and the obstacles, then you can be more proactive in solving those issues that these entrepreneurs are running into, right? And it's about that. It's about not being reactive. It's about being proactive as a city organization, as a public-private initiative, right? As an economic development organization, right? It's about understanding how you can remove the barriers or the obstacles, right, for business owners to get started, right? And I'm talking about small business owners, and I'm talking about, high-tech business owners as well, about everyone in the spectrum, right? How can you leverage this data that you are obtaining through the engagement of entrepreneurs in the Launch SA platform and actually use that to leverage, let's say, funding, or let's say remove barriers or obstacles for these entrepreneurs and build a better ecosystem that is going to ultimately shape economic success for the city of San Antonio.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I would love to open it up if anybody has any questions just about this, or any even ideas things that they feel would be useful. As I mentioned, this is our V1, and while we are planning to iterate and make it more robust, nothing is as good as insight from the community. So if there are any ideas, I'm more than welcome to hear them, listen to them, and see how we can include thoughts like that. I feel free, again, you can unmute or you can drop it in the chat. And I really just want to quickly say, like, I think personally, the user friendliness of this app, meaning like how, I guess you could say consumer oriented or user oriented it feels, makes a big difference to me. Is oftentimes when we go through systems like this, they can look very clunky and very aged. And so the backbone of the Iris team and making this worth actually engaging in and user friendly, I think is gonna make a big difference. So I just want to give you a big props to that. I think it really aesthetically.
Thank you, Ryan. We're very thankful. And honestly, I mean, a lot of it was a direct collaboration between Launch SA and Iris, and I think the outcome is beautiful. I think we have so much impact. And for entrepreneurs, I think it's important to remember one thing, right? Preparation is more important than the game itself, meaning that the more you prepare yourself, the more you pursue resources, right? From Launch SA, for example, right? The more you learn about how to get from point A to point B, right? Once you get started and you have a service or product, you're gonna scale rapidly, right? But you gotta prepare yourself. So I just wanna leave you with that note.
Absolutely. And I'll just take a look and see if there's anything in the live platform. So I see we got a fire emoji, which that's probably a good thing. I don't know if I'm not an emoji user, but I'm just, that's probably a good thing. And we hope that, this helps light a fire for all of you entrepreneurs as well. So as we get to the conclusion, again, this was primarily our first opportunity to share it with the community. I really hope that as we launch to the public, as this is something that you can engage with, that you find not only the opportunity to progress your business forward, but also the opportunity to establish a relationship with our organization, Launch SA, in the betterment of the overall scene of economic development, the overall scene of San Antonio's prosperity, and also the betterment of this platform as a whole for others to use. So if there are no questions, will the app be free? Yes, it is free. So all of the resources that we have within the Launch SA sphere are meant to be free. And that's the biggest part of accessibility. I don't believe in artificial barriers. If I know somebody that has the right answer, there's no fee to getting in front of them. I don't believe in paid play systems. I want you to get the right information at the right time for as little to no cost as possible. So for us, we were very fortunate through funding through the pandemic, the CARES Act, and also the stewardship that we have from the city of San Antonio, that we were capable of building this app, as it's been on our minds for probably 7 years to develop something like this that would make more sense for entrepreneurs and for our organization. And we were also just extremely fortunate to have a company like Iris within our community that builds and works on systems that engage citizenry to interact with other organizations, especially government. And so with those serendipitous key components put together, we're fortunate to launch this for no cost to the community. And again, while it is an app, it's a web app, so you don't even need to have it downloaded on your phone. You can access this from any computer, phone, otherwise, and engage with the resources immediately. So accessibility in as many fronts as possible, right? We don't want to have anybody that is limited by monetary resources, technology resources, and engaging with our community. So, and this doesn't eliminate the personal touch that we have. You can always, once we get back into our space, you can always come in. You can always use our workspace. You can always give us a call. You can always send us an email. And the idea is that this works hand in hand with our methodology to support you, but is not limited by is not limited by our personal time or ability. Yes, this platform will be safe. Beto, I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, just from a tech perspective, data perspective, but there was one question there just about the safety of the platform itself.
Of course. I mean, the data, right, is going to be stored by LaunchSA, right? And of course, it's going to be safe. We're using the highest protocols of cybersecurity. We also have the experience of working with entities like the city of San Antonio, so we know how to protect data. We work directly with organizations such as AWS Public Policy, and also, with the U.S. Air Force, right? So we have extensive experience in managing data, for privacy reasons, right? But the data, right, is going to be synthesized and utilized by LaunchSA, not by anyone else. It's not going to be marketed, to anyone else or commercially available for anyone else. It's just going to be accessed by LaunchSA and their team, and of course, they will share, this data with entities like the city of San Antonio to make policy recommendations as well, right? So I understand that, this data is going to leverage a lot of, decision making, for policymakers, for stakeholders in the city of San Antonio, for Live Fund, for, of course, LaunchSA, and it's going to benefit, a lot of community members, of course. But yes, the platform is safe. We're using, a lot of, let's say, guidelines that are introduced by the public policy agenda by AWS to be safe in regards to cybersecurity measurements. So yeah, everybody's going to be protected. And again, the data is going to be stored by, having just LaunchSA having access to it.
Thank you. That was a great question. Especially now, in the previous element to that question is, because there's a lot of scams these days, and totally, that's it's kind of a funny thing to provide a free service. There's an inherent question about, well, if it's free, is it good, right? And in my mind, and if I believe if you're an entrepreneur, the very earliest levels of entrepreneurship, you look for the things that are the cheapest possible outlet to get you started, right? And that I do have to give credit to the city of San Antonio in the initial construction of what LaunchSA was about. It was about providing the highest level quality set of resources, direction, education possible at the accessible level of free to the community. And you won't find that in any other city that I know about, especially with the methodologies that we use. So I hope that you feel comfortable using it. And again, if you have any questions or issues utilizing this platform, we want to know. We want to take that opportunity to iterate and adjust to make sure that it best fits the users that we are supporting. So are there any other questions? I'm going to take a quick gander back at the stream. And I don't see anything else at the minute, but let me refresh. I don't see anything else at the moment, but I guess with that, I'm very, like I said, I'm very excited. I think this is going to make a big difference to not only our organization, but also the other economic development organizations in our city, and provide a stronger depth of information that can influence and better serve our community overall. But beyond that, not just at the top level, actually enable you to make better decisions and move your business forward on your terms, with your vision, towards your success, which holistically benefits the success of the rest of our community. So with that, I'm just extremely happy to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Beto, and thank you, the Iris team, for facilitating and supporting us in this journey, because it's been a journey. And I want to say a special thank you to the Live Fund team for supporting us on this, and the city of San Antonio, and my number one counterpart, Daniela Alvarez, who is literally the backbone of LaunchSA. Nothing can be done without her. If I disappear, she already had the keys to the kingdom. It was never me, it was her. So I can't do this without her. So I just want to say a special thank you to her as well.
Excellent. Yeah. And thank you, Ryan and Daniela, again. And thank you to every entrepreneur in San Antonio who's building an ecosystem for other San Antonians, services, products. And thank you to everyone who has a dream also of starting their own businesses. This is the starting point, and Launch SA is providing a hub for you to make your dreams a reality. So thank you for every single resident that is out there trying to make it and then contribute to the success of the city of San Antonio.
And with that, I think we can close the session, but I do appreciate it again. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that as we launch, please pay attention to our communications so that you can be the first to support us in this journey of supporting you. Thank you.